The United States, a nation that once proudly declared itself the leader of the free world, finds itself teetering on the precipice. Just like the Roman Empire before it, the warning signs are flashing like a broken neon sign in Times Square. Internal strife, economic disparity, and a string of foreign policy blunders have left many wondering, is the American empire on the brink of collapse? History, as they say, doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. The Roman Empire, with its legions and its grandeur, crumbled under its own weight. Overextension, internal strife, and economic woes brought the once mighty empire to its knees. Fast forward a couple of millennia, and the British Empire, with its vast colonial holdings, met a similar fate. The sun finally set on their global dominance, leaving behind a legacy of exploitation and faded glory. Now, as we look at the United States, we can't help but see parallels. The warning signs are all there, staring us in the face like a reality TV star turned politician with an unhealthy obsession with Twitter. The question is, are we paying attention? Or are we, like the citizens of Rome and London before us, too busy fiddling while our empire burns? Empires, like bad relationships, often share common traits when they're on the verge of a messy breakup. First, there's the overextended military. Remember those legions marching across Europe and those British ships sailing the seven seas? Well, the US has had its fair share of military adventures, from the deserts of Iraq to the mountains of Afghanistan. These engagements, while initially driven by noble intentions, or so we were told, have drained the treasury and left the military weary. Then there's the internal strife. Remember those Roman senators stabbing each other in the back, or those British politicians bickering over Brexit? Well, the US has its own brand of political dysfunction with a level of polarization that would make a battery blush. From healthcare to immigration, the two sides seem further apart than ever, more interested in scoring political points than actually governing. And let's not forget about the economic inequality. Remember those Roman patricians living in luxury while the plebeians struggled to make ends meet? Or those British factory owners getting rich off the backs of their workers? Well, the US has its own version of the 1% hoarding wealth while the rest of us are stuck fighting over the crumbs. The American dream, that cherished notion that anyone, regardless of their background, can achieve success through hard work and determination, is starting to look more like a faded billboard on the side of a forgotten highway. The gap between the rich and the poor has become a chasm, with the wealthy few enjoying the fruits of their labor and everyone else's, while the rest of us are left wondering if we can afford to keep the lights on. The middle class, once the backbone of the American economy, is shrinking faster than a polar bear's habitat in a heat wave. Jobs are being automated, wages are stagnating, and the cost of everything from healthcare to education is skyrocketing. It's enough to make you want to scream into the void if you weren't so busy working 2 jobs just to make rent. Section 4 Trump's America, a house divided. Donald J. Trump, the man, the myth, the twice-impeached former reality TV star who somehow managed to claw his way back into the Oval Office. His presidency, marked by chaos, division, and a Twitter feed that could melt steel beams, has only accelerated the decline. Trump's America First policy, a thinly veiled attempt to turn back the clock to a time when America could throw its weight around without consequence, has alienated allies and emboldened adversaries. His withdrawal from international agreements, like some petulant child taking his ball and going home, has diminished America's standing on the world stage. And let's not forget his domestic policies, which seem specifically designed to benefit the wealthy at the expense of everyone else. Tax cuts for the rich? Check. Deregulation that benefits corporations while putting the environment at risk? Check. It's enough to make you wonder if he's ever met a billionaire he didn't like. Section 5. Can the empire be saved? The future of the American empire hangs in the balance like a contestant on The Apprentice waiting to hear their fate. The challenges are significant but not insurmountable. The first step is to acknowledge that there's a problem. Denial, as they say, is not just a river in Egypt. The US needs to address its internal divisions. The political polarization, fueled by misinformation and a lack of civil discourse, is tearing the country apart. It's time for Americans to come together, to find common ground, and to remember that they're all on the same team. And let's not forget about the economic inequality. The concentration of wealth in the hands of a few is not only morally wrong, but it's also economically unsustainable. It's time to level the playing field, to create an economy that works for everyone, not just those at the top. The US also needs to rethink its role in the world. The days of acting as the world's policeman are over. It's time to embrace diplomacy, to build bridges instead of walls, and to work with other countries to address global challenges. The American empire, like all empires before it, is not destined to last forever. But it doesn't have to end in a whimper, a slow fade into irrelevance. By addressing its internal divisions, creating a more just and equitable society, and embracing a more humble and cooperative approach to foreign policy, the US can chart a new course. One that ensures its continued prosperity and influence for generations to come, or, it could all go up in flames. Only time will tell.